please. That's your seat. So Tim has submitted a proposal with Colin Sheehan, who couldn't be here this evening. It's dated July 1st, 2016, and we'll turn it over to you to describe your proposal.
Excuse me. Ellen, people know? Does anyone know who I am or anything?
No, please, you can introduce yourself.
My name is Tim Nolan. I live in Hamden, Connecticut. I am a contractor, construction manager by trade. I've been in the golf arena for my life. You know, it's been a game I've played all my life. I played in high school and college. And Colin Sheehan is a friend of mine who is the Yale golf coach as well. And he came to me and said, would I be interested in talking to Woodbridge about possibly acquiring the Woodbridge golf course on a philanthropically. So we want to purchase a golf course and renovate it, and totally renovate it, make it a great golf course. Maybe the first 12-hole golf course in the United States. Biggest problem with golf is it takes too long. And we only want to do a golf course. I do not have the funds. That's not my purview. Colin has a team of investors that will, you have to accept that. It has a team of investors that want to buy this golf course. We are only offering $500,000 for the golf course because of the amount of work that's going to need to take to make this golf course a really classy golf course. It will be a semi-private course, which means a daily fee. One could play golf there, go up and buy a ticket and play golf there. And you could also get a membership. Conditions will be excellent. It will be a very inexpensive golf course to play. All the money will go back into the operation of the golf course. We will have a practice facility, an extensive practice facility. It's not a driving range. It's a practice facility. People will be able to go play golf. We very much want to promote junior golf. We were thinking of not even charging juniors to play golf. I think it's going to be a minimal amount. It is a golf course. The property needs a lot of work. The golf course needs a lot of work. And so that's our idea. Our idea for the town is to allow us to purchase the property and renovate it and really do a great job to the golf course. We do not want any involved with any development. We don't want to team with anybody. It is not what we want to do. If that's your intention to develop it, so be it, not us. We're going to make it a better golf course. You have my draft proposal. That's all we've done. We have not put anything, we haven't gone to any lengths of really anything more than this draft proposal. If you're interested in going further, we can make this much more formal. So I'll stop now. Maybe you want to ask questions, or please go ahead.
Yeah, a couple of things. You mentioned that Colin is the financing part of this team. It was not my impression when I spoke to you that there was financing in place. Has that changed?
It is not in place yet, because when you go to an investor, you need to make sure that you have something to invest in. We didn't know if this is even a possibility. If it's favorable, we then can go to our investors and then come back to you and then give you some proof of financing.
And also you mentioned a philanthropic enterprise. So are you contemplating a not-for-profit entity? And what kind of investors were you thinking about that would be investing in a not-for-profit?
We initially talked about being nonprofit. I think we have to make some money. So I'm going to say it will not be it is not going to be a nonprofit. But we're hoping to make enough money to put it away for a rainy day. If sales are down, whatever, you have a tough winter. So the answer is it is not going to be a 501c3.
And your proposal is to purchase the entire property?
It is. It's a good question. It is. I need to mention that I don't think we're going to use all the property, and we are willing to give some of the land for town use. We could discuss what ideas you might have. I don't know. It's walking paths or, I really don't know what ideas. I don't know, volleyball courts or something. You'd have to come back to us and say, listen, we would be interested in using some of the land for the town. We're okay with that.
Have you laid out I think you said a 12-hole golf course, to know what parts of the land might be available for town use, or how much land?
We have not. It's the golf course is built on a hill, and you have to worry about water, and we possibly are going to have to make the pond on the golf course larger and deeper. So the layout really has not been done yet. Colin has a lot of experience in, they call it scraping, redesigning a golf course, and he has tremendous connections.
And you would be amenable to having a conservation easement on the entire property?
Absolutely. Totally.
Okay. Let's see. And with respect to the clubhouse, you would take care of demolishing the clubhouse at your own expense? Is that
Right.
correct?
We need to have a clean site. So if there is possible contamination there, we're going to ask the town to take care of that, and anywhere else on the site. But we will take care of demolishing the clubhouse and the pool and the old clubhouse. Excuse me. Yes, we would take care of that.
I'm sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Sorry. So I'm just reading this for the first time, so I apologize. Demolish and remove existing clubhouse, pool, old clubhouse at the corner of Johnson, and you're not going to replace them, or you are? Or?
Yeah, that's a good question, Beth.
I'm sorry, I just didn't get that far.
You're right. We're going to get rid of those buildings,
Yeah.
and we're going to have a very small clubhouse.
No pool,
No pool.
no tennis courts?
No tennis courts.
Okay.
No. The clubhouse is going to be small. It's going to be, this is, again, we're pretty open, but the idea was to have a small kitchenette, tables to eat, for sandwiches, what have you. It's going to be a golf operation. That's all it is.
Okay.
But it's going to be unique.
Sorry, I just have one. Operation will be a semi-private club. Maybe you could elaborate.
I sure can.
Woodbridge residents rates or things like that?
Yep, Woodbridge residents would definitely get a very good rate at the daily fee. So every time you go play golf there, if you're not a member, but you can buy a yearly membership, you just go up and buy a ticket, and Woodbridge residents would get a deal.
Okay.
As would juniors. Again, juniors are really, we're going to promote that.
Okay. I might have more. I'm just reading through this.
You're fine.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
Other questions? Tony?
Yeah,
Please.
I have a few, but can I just start? Can you, so the public knows, because I'm just reading for the first time, and I'm just reading your golf experience. Can you tell us what you do? I'm reading your experience here.
What I do for a living?
Yeah. You said you were a contractor.
I am.
And I see what Colin does.
Right. I was a general contractor, and I sold my business years ago. And now I'm called a construction manager. I'm sort of like an owner's rep. So if someone has a project they want to get done, they would hire me as their eyes and ears to make sure the project comes in on time. So I would oversee a general contractor. So I'm a sole proprietor.
And Colin is the golf coach at Yale Golf Course. I'm assuming Yale University, so Yale Golf Course, and is involved in golf course design. Is that correct?
And he's also involved with, it's a very exclusive private club called the Outpost Club, which is a club that very, very affluent people would join. That's not a golf course. It's just a club that you join, and you have the entree to play some fabulous clubs around the world.
So even though you said this is basically a new concept, Colin has been involved in developing other courses and doing other projects.
He has, and he's involved in doing one in Georgia right now too. So my involvement, right, I would be sort of the point person here.
So what about this 12-hole concept?
Yeah.
Tell us a little more about that.
The golf course as it is now is 18 holes, and it has a practice range, and it's really, there's not enough land to have 18 good holes of golf. And it takes too long to play. And 9 holes of golf, quite honestly, when you play the game, it's not enough. So the idea is to try to get this game played in 3 hours. If you tell your friend, your spouse, and what have you, they're going to play golf, 12 holes is a pretty good number. And it's been spoken about for years now. And I don't know of another course in the United States that is a 12-hole golf course.
Do you know of a course anywhere in the world that is a 12-hole?
No, there is some over in Scotland, I think, that there were. I think there were, but I don't think there is in the United States.
And what happened to the ones in Scotland? Or were they successful?
Oh, I'm talking about 1800s. Oh, I don't know.
Were they successful?
I don't know. But a 12-hole golf course is very enticing.
It's not an industry model that's in
No,
use
ma'am.
today.
It's not.
Okay. I
So-
apologize, Joe, I interrupted you.
No, but that's a good question because I used to do golf, I'm not anymore. But correct me if I'm wrong, there are some very prominent golf gentlemen who think that the 12-hole course is
Yeah.
thing of the future.
What Joe's referring to is Jack Nicklaus has referred to this for a while now. And I'm the one, I sort of picked up on this about 15 years ago, and I said, it's got to happen. And you know what? This is an opportunity for it to happen.
I had one other question for you then. Joe. Can I go back to this philanthropic thing?
Sure.
Philanthropy benefits someone. Who's this benefiting philanthropically?
I think these people want to see the growth of golf. And so what are they getting out of it? They're going to own a golf course where they're going to be able to promote golf. I don't know if that really answers the question, Susan, but they're not doing it to make money. They're doing it to promote golf. They're doing it really to promote junior golf. Does that answer your question?
Maybe philanthropy is the wrong word, so I give you that. But no, it doesn't answer the question, but thank you for trying.
Tim, I don't know if you mentioned this, but you talked about the work to improve the course, and it says here you're estimating it would be between $3.5 and $4.5 million.
Right.
Does that include the whatever you would be doing with the old clubhouse and the new clubhouse? Or
This was just an estimate that we get. Personally, I think it's going to be more than that. We haven't done enough homework to see exactly what the numbers. We just put together a draft. I just know it's going to be millions of dollars to do the work we're talking about doing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
yes. I don't know.
Okay. Any other questions for Tim? No?
I'm not. Once we
Okay.
get more clear, maybe.
Right.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll now go to Redan Reserve LLC. Ed Brockner is here to speak about that proposal.
The next one down.
I get 8.
It should be the next one. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
You have both the PowerPoint.
Yeah, they have also have copies of the PowerPoint, which you might go
Is the
from.
proposal first?
Wait, hold on one second. Does everybody has the chart?
We haven't had that chart.
Okay. All right, we're talking about the Redan Reserve LLC.
The proposal on the first or the PowerPoint first? Proposal?
The proposal is first and the PowerPoint is attached.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Ed Brockner. I'm here to represent Redan Reserve. Our chairman, Roland Betts, sends his apologies. He's attending to a family matter, so he couldn't join us this evening, but he wanted me to present this evening, and I've been intimately involved with all aspects of the project, and hopefully if this all comes to fruition, I'll be the person you'll be seeing probably the most of, so hello. I I want to just really just go through the proposal rather quickly, and then I'm sure there'll be a number of questions. And I've been listening a lot. I came to the last meeting that the Toll Brothers did. I've watched more WGA TV than I've cared to admit over the last couple of months. But I've really tried to listen a lot, hear what the townspeople and the elected officials are saying, and present something that hopefully everyone will find exciting, and as exciting as we find it. So to quickly go through the elements of the plan, the Woodbridge, the Country Club of Woodbridge part of this is just part of a larger plan that we've developed, that I've developed along with Mr. Betts, and something that we've been speaking at length at the highest levels of Yale University, including the President's office and the Development office and the Athletic Director and everyone else. And what we really want to do here is to create a 36-hole complex that includes a full restoration of the Yale Golf Course, which is already recognized as a top 100 golf course. We want to build a lodge on the Yale property adjacent to the 6th hole with approximately 80 rooms, and then to take the existing Country Club of Woodbridge and completely renovate it and make it into a world-class 36-hole venue. And I'll get into the PowerPoint a little bit of the details, but those are the main elements of it. And then when you go through the proposal, what we're proposing is to preserve open space, a Country Club of Woodbridge in perpetuity, build a world-class facility at no cost to the town, receive a substantial cash payment that will retire the majority of the debt, and to receive ongoing tax property revenues that we will negotiate with the town when convenient. But I think that just the context, and I'm hoping that we can all discuss this in, is not so much the price of what we're paying, but more the value of what we can bring to the town and what we're willing to invest in this site to create a beautiful piece of open space that not just the golfers, but everyone can benefit from and enjoy. To get into the particulars of our proposal, the conveyance is the fee title of the property. The price is $3.5 million, less the cost of the environmental remediation, which would be the town's responsibility, I think, regardless of any proposal or part of a negotiation, I guess. And then we would be responsible for the demolition of the clubhouse and having as much possible land every inch of that property, because we believe that we can make a world-class golf course on that property. And an important part of this proposal that I should have mentioned earlier, but I was going to get into the PowerPoint also, is that I've walked the land personally with Gil Hance, who would be the designer of this project, who's one of the best golf architects in the world. He's going to restore the Yale Golf Course and to create something that, I had a shovel on his construction crew 15 years ago. It was my first job in the golf business. And my experience since then has been as director of the First Tee, where we promote golf and core values, and bring golf to thousands of kids throughout the New York area. I've renovated multiple golf courses. I have vast experience in this area. I know how to make a golf course great. Gil knows how to really make it great. And Mr. Betts is the best builder of athletic facilities there is. So I think that we have an incredible team we're putting together. But to get to the rest of the proposal before the PowerPoint, and again, I don't want to take too long with this, it's an important part of this is that we want the town, this is a traditional course, and it's in the fact that, you go to Scotland, people are out there walking on the golf course. They can utilize it. We want people out there when we're closed during the winter time to do cross-country skiing. This isn't going to be a closed shop. It's not a private club. It's a daily fee golf course. And this is one part of the industry that has been thriving, is high-end daily fee golf courses that are designed by top architects that are well-ranked. And so that's the model that we want to use here. So it is not a private club. And that we're not, the financing is in place. It's not an issue. We have many qualified investors, starting Mr. Betts. And again, this is not his first rodeo. And I think that I feel very confident that he's going to make sure this is all taken care of, as the man on site, making sure that it all happens, along with the rest of our team. So those are the main conditions. Obviously, we need to get permitting, all of those types of issues at closing. And the rest of the project is contingent on all of it working out with Yale too. I mean, this is a vision. This is one thing. one is not going to work without the other. But again, I'm very optimistic, and while one will not work without the other, having good reception here allows me to go back to Yale and vice versa. And I think that I feel very confident in their approval. Mr. Betts was the senior fellow of the Yale Corporation for 8 years. Has a tremendous influence there, and more importantly, maybe even that, just understands the process and how to get these things done, and they trust him. He has an incredible track record there, and has done some amazing things for Yale. So that's the proposal, and then just quickly on the, I see that you have the pretty pictures and color on the proposal, so on PowerPoint, I'd like to look through that. This is an example of what Guild-Hans creates. It's not something where we take out the bulldozers and just start with a blank slate. We try to incorporate the land and make something beautiful and natural looking. Don't water more than we need to. Sustainable design. He's one of the forefront of what's called the minimalist approach. Everything that we would do is according to the the best environmental best practices. In my role for several years, I was a director of the Metropolitan Golf Course Superintendents Association, and we started a best management practices study with Cornell. It was the first of its kind in the country. So that's very important to me, and I know it's very important to the town. And we know that with the type of golf course we build, being disrespectful to the environment is not going to do us any good, nor is it going to do anyone else any good. So again, the vision I laid out with the transformation of Country Club of Woodbridge, the restoration of the Yale Golf Course, the Lodge at Yale are the three project elements. And the next page is the site map that I think gives everybody a sense of where everything is. It's remarkable how close it is. How you come in there, and so what you see there is there's an entrance drive that as you're going, I guess, east on when Ansonia becomes Fountain Street. The entrance would be right there, and it's the most. I walked it many times now with Mr. Betts and others. It's the most beautiful entrance road you've ever seen to the golf course. Just winding through the trees and the woods, and there's high ledge that here the Wilbur Cross, and that's where we're going to bring everybody and park everybody.
Right past the tunnel.
Past where you go under the tunnel,
Under the tunnel.
Make a right if you're coming from
Right.
Woodbridge, and you go a half mile on this road. That's where you park, and then there's going to be no parking at the Country Club of Woodbridge golf course. We're going to have shuttle vans to bring everyone out, so we're going to reduce. Well, I'll get to some of that, but this is the layout of what we want to do. Ultimately, the benefits to the town. There's no change in zoning. We're taking a golf course. We're making a golf course. It's very simple, and I know that obviously I have our concerns about that from everybody, and we don't want to. That's not what we're doing there. We're not going to spend $15 million on a golf course and then develop it with homes on the third fairway. It just doesn't make sense. So I think that's we want to maintain that. We're going to not just preserve open space. We're going to enhance open space. We're going to make this a beautiful piece of property, and with the parking eliminated, the clubhouse limited, it's going to be less impervious area that is there to maintain open space. And no burden to the town. There's going to be no kids in schools, no costs. I mean, it's going to be a net positive for the town. And I think this is an important thing too. Is that we're not looking to take our time with this construction and have it done open-ended process. We want to get the approvals, get the financing, get it done, and open up shop. And so there's going to be a definitive timeline where there'll be minimum inconvenience to the townspeople and the people around, and the golf course being completely changed. You can sort of set up out there, and so there's going to be less back and forth with dozers and so forth, and the traffic is going to be minimal. So I guess that brings me to what the last page is, and we're in our commitment to the town, which is the experience I've talked about. And this is something that that is my passion. I've dedicated my entire life to golf. Dedicated my life to doing positive things through golf, making beautiful places, hopefully. And I think this is something that Mr. Betts certainly doesn't need to do. This is something he really wants to do, and to create something beautiful, and to do something for Yale, and the opportunity to do something wonderful for Woodbridge as well. And we have the experience and the team to do it. This will guarantee that this will forever remain open space and not be developed. I think that's something. I think that what I hear a lot is this will create a resolution to something that I know has been difficult for everyone. And You know, and instead of being something that's a contentious issue, it's something that everyone can feel really great about. And you know, and we see this as a partnership with the town. We're not going anywhere. We'll be here for a very long time, and what's good for Woodbridge is good for our business. And you know, the people get out and play golf, so they can be in this beautiful pastoral, you know, country-like setting. And so we certainly don't want to do anything to diminish that. We want to enhance it. So I'm sorry I went along a little longer than I hoped, but there's a lot going on, and I appreciate you know, your time and consideration, and certainly would love to answer any questions you might have.
So I'm just going to, with a couple of things. First of all, Ed, thank you for teaching us how to use the microphone. You've done a great job. That's very important. You've mentioned Roland Betts several times and his connection to Yale, but perhaps you want to give a little more background about what he does and what he has done, since I don't think that's in the materials.
It's not. Mr. Betts, I know Mr. Betts through his daughter is a member of our board of directors at the First Tee, and through they host our First Tee program. Just quickly, it's a youth development program that uses golf to achieve positive values in Chelsea Piers. I don't know if you've ever been there on the west side of Manhattan. I heard the story. It started out with wanting to find a place for his daughter to ice skate, got completely out of control. That's his quote. And with 1.5 million square feet of space. And so it's this tremendous complex that they developed. It's 22 years old now, and I don't know how many million visitors there are a year, but it's one of the most visited places in New York City. And they recognize a huge demand in Stamford. And so they developed Chelsea Piers Stamford on I think it's a Revlon factory, right up in 95 in that area, and Olympic-sized pools, squash courts, places packed every day, and he is he's going to be, that's what he does. I mean, he loves sports, and with Yale, he came to the athletic director and said, we need to do something about this hockey facility. It needs to be fixed up. There's no reason why we can't have a nationally contending hockey team. And $30 million, and 3 years later, they had a national championship. So he likes sports a lot. He likes to develop things and build beautiful things. And and I know that he really feels very strongly about making this whole reality, and is very, very excited about it.
So thank you. That was helpful. But also for your proposal, it's not a matter of Redan Reserve and the town of Woodbridge only. There are other important pieces to this, and I know that's a condition of your proposal, is that things are worked out with Yale.
Correct.
I'm sure there are pieces that have to be worked out with the city of New Haven and with your, now you're calling it lodge or conference center. Can you speak to any of those three? Because it could sound like the best thing in the world to the town of Woodbridge, but these other pieces have to be in place, and that's the condition for the proposal.
Certainly. The course at Yale is it's sort of been famously mismanaged for many years. There was an article back in 2003 where some golf magazine, Golf Week, said it was like a landmark on askew, and it's something the university desperately wants to get right. So I think there's a real incentive on their part to do this. And the lodge, I think that that there's a real interest there too to have something a little close to the athletic fields, the university. I mean, you can practically walk to the Yale Bowl from this course, maybe a long walk.
Golf cart.
And I think but New Haven, I mean, we're gonna go to them, and I'm hoping that any of you have friends in New Haven, we can talk to them and do something and show this is great, not just for Woodbridge but for New Haven as well. So I think we've had great discussions with Yale. We have not really engaged New Haven much because there hasn't been an occasion to engage them at this point. But those things, it is definitely contingent on those things. But I'm hoping that I can go and talk to them and say I had a wonderful meeting in Woodbridge, and we have reason to move forward with other pieces of it.
And also, just to be clear, I think you were very clear about this, you would want the entire property. There would be no opportunity for pool or other recreational uses for the town of Woodbridge. Is that correct? Thank you. Susan?
You asked some of it, but I want to make sure I understand this. Although it appears that the two courses are contiguous, in fact, the freeway runs through it,
Yes.
correct? So access from one to the other does go back out on city streets of some kind?
It does.
Okay. And is the lodge going to operate year-round?
It is.
So grandma and grandpa can go stay at the lodge in December?
Correct.
Okay. And did I read somewhere in here that the vendor is the study at Yale, or was that?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have to your point, maybe a little bit to your question earlier. So Mr. Betts has met with Paul McGowan. He's at the urging of Yale and their development office. They very much like what he's done at the study. And it's going to be a similar type of market that we would be looking for. And we think there'll be some great synergies there between the two of it, economies of scale and so forth, and bookings and things like that. And he's going to be part of the project come on. We also have a clubhouse designer, a hotel designer who is designing this world-class facility up in Nova Scotia right now, Susan Fitzgerald. So a lot of the hotel piece is in place. We have a manager and we have an architect.
And it's a little hard to tell, but is this suggesting that the entrance to the Woodbridge Golf Course is the existing entrance?
I would think that it would be slightly further north. More like I'm picturing like the cell tower.
Okay.
I think that might
Along
be.
that
It's going to depend a little bit. Like one skilled hands gets to do his work, but we don't want to affect Ansonia Road or Johnson Road. I'm trying to create the shortest possible route.
Gotcha.
And then I think that the one structure we will have is some of that land sort of to the east of Woodfield Road is not really much used for a golf course because you can't really get back and forth, you get close to the highway and so forth. So I think that's where we want to sort of, be a circle, drop people off, and off you go. And so.
In 2008 and 9, we were hearing dire predictions for the golf industry, that it was in a huge amount of trouble. What changed?
I think that there are certain parts of the industry that are very much in trouble still. I think that the model of the existing country club Woodbridge is what that is. Mm-hmm. I think that it's sort of it seems like that there's been 3 or 4 different resorts that have been built lately, and the model is, high end, not really into cards, very traditional, daily fee. You don't have to pay a $100,000 initiation fee. You go and you pay a fee and you play, and multiple golf courses where you can go and you stay there. It's a destination. And there's a couple developers, one in particular, Mike Kaiser, who's done this to great effect with Stream Song in Florida, Abandoned Dunes in Oregon, Sand Valley out in Wisconsin. There's a half dozen things, and this will be part of, the golf course, architecture guys. There are people who are really into this type of place, and those places are in the middle of nowhere. We're putting something in, within 3 hours of 30 million people. And I think that this is something that will really distinguish us. The Yale Golf Course in its current state, when it'll be refined and restored, I think it'll be like the biggest story in the golf business. Like it's like the holy grail of like, why can't Yale? It's
Sorry, it'd be the Holy Yale. But
the holy Yale, exactly. And it's become, but I think that once it's done, and with Gil Hance, who is universally regarded as the best.
And one more question. Would it be the expectation that the Woodbridge Golf Course would be as difficult and unforgiving as the Yale Golf Course?
I think I'm going to let Gil do his design work, but I think that it would probably be it would be different. It would be very different.
Okay.
I think that the Yale course is a very specific classical design that is like modeled after. We don't have enough time for me to talk about seeing McDonald's this evening. I don't think. I think we'll lose some people, but the idea that it's but it would be a complementary course. I think that the Yale course is a very, very famously difficult course.
Different levels would be.
Right, I think it would be a great course in its own right, but somewhere where you go there and you would want to play the other course because it's a different experience.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
the goal.
Thank you.
Tony?
I have a few for you. So there'd be no parking necessarily, it'd be all shuttle
Correct.
coming from the, okay. As far as the buildings on the property, I know you want to use every acre, every inch. Would there only be possibly a maintenance building on the Woodbridge portion of?
I think that I don't see any reason for anything else other than maybe like a snack shack. somewhere. I mean, but
Ninth hole.
the idea is we want to drive all the business back to the hotel where that's people gather and they're talking,
I know
and they're debating which do you like better, the old course or the new course?
Yeah, we
You know,
have
because
that
that's-
bathroom, I mean, obviously that.
Yeah.
So no construction of a new clubhouse?
No. No.
Okay, so maybe an outhouse, a small place for bathrooms and a snack shack?
Correct.
Ninth Ocean. And then, you said you haven't talked to New Haven yet. Have you spoken to Yale yet?
Yes.
Is this, because I would
Yes.
think they're the most important.
I mean, we
Were they
discussed this
receptive?
personally with the university president.
Were they receptive in your
Yes.
opinion?
Yeah.
And then, as far as, there is a conservation easement here. This is.
Yes.
And then the last thing I have to say is, please don't build a ninth hole on Yale here. We don't need that hole. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Did Mr. Hansi do Pinehurst number 2?
He did not. That was it's Core and Crenshaw. It's that same sort of school up.
Anything else? Thank you very much, Ed.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Said.
Next is Toll Brothers. Greg Kamaszewski is here. and-
Good evening.
Hi, and do you want to introduce yourselves?
Of course.
Thank you.
We're back again. Greg Kamaszewski from Toll Brothers. I'm the group president. Jack Lanaman is the division president for Connecticut for Toll Brothers. Sitting behind him is Eric Morissette, who is our land acquisition manager in Connecticut. And unlike
For one
the-
minute, excuse me for 1 minute, I do want to say that this is the proposal before us, is the one that we did discuss at our last special Board of Selectmen meeting. So people are more familiar with this than they were with the others.
So unlike the first two presentations, we are not proposing golf. We do own and manage golf course communities, mostly in the southwest and the southeast. We really don't do that in the northeast. We've found it's not economically viable to do that, so we've steered away from that kind of endeavor. Our proposal simply is to develop a portion of the property for 80 single-family and a few attached, age-restricted homes, meaning that essentially no one under the age of 55 years of age will occupy the homes. And the important point there is no school-age children, no burden on the school system. Our proposal is to pay the town of Woodbridge $5 million in cash. Financing is not a problem for us. It's not an adventure. It's not an endeavor. We're a New York Stock Exchange company and we have lots of cash. So that's not a problem for us. We would pay upon closing on the property, and closing on the property is contingent on getting all the necessary approval to develop the 80 homes we're contemplating. The total acreage of the property is 113 acres. We would develop 42 of the 113 acres, leaving in perpetuity, and we would deed restrict this, 71 acres, unencumbered open space for the enjoyment for the citizens of the town of Woodbridge. We would contemplate using some of the existing cart paths to create a trail system. We would embellish that, we would add to it to create a comprehensive trail system throughout the site. I think those are the basic highlights. Jack's going to talk about the site plan just briefly in a minute. Just want to reiterate a couple of key points that I think should be made. One is, and we've been before you before, we're here tonight in response to an RFP. We think our proposal is a great proposal for the town of Woodbridge. We're excited about it. But we also want to feel as though we're welcome. We want to feel comfortable that there's a good amount of support with the Board of Selectmen to proceed with the proposal. And if we don't, quite frankly, if we don't feel comfortable that there is enough support, we will withdraw, we'll move on. We don't have a problem with that. That's fine. So we'd love to develop the property. We think it's a good development scheme, but we want to feel comfortable that you all, as well as the citizens of the town of Woodbridge, are comfortable with our proposal. As I said, it's $5 million in cash to the town of Woodbridge, which, according to our rough calculations, would retire the debt on the property. So our proposal retires the entire amount of the debt on the property. In addition to that, there's a tremendous, and Tony, I don't know if you've calculated this, but there's a tremendous annual benefit to the town in terms of the tax revenues, that cash flow that flows to the town with very little burden on town services, because there's no school-age children, so there's no burden on the school system. The roads would be private, so there's no road maintenance, there's no snow plowing. There's very little expense to the town, but there's tremendous tax revenue cash flow to the town that I think you should seriously look at. I'm sure you will. Our proposal, we think, serves a tremendous need in the town in terms of providing housing that serves a good proportion of the town population, what we call active adult type people that are over the age of 55. Their kids have moved out, they've graduated from college, they've moved out of the house. They're looking to downsize, change a lifestyle, not have all the maintenance burdens that you would have in with your traditional single-family home on a 1 acre, 2 acre lot. So a new lifestyle is created, new friends are created, the burdens of home maintenance are alleviated, and there's a tremendous demand that we're finding in this general New Haven County area for that type of housing. So it's served a need also. So we think there's several benefits, important benefits to the town of Woodbridge, financial, non-financial. We're excited, and Jack will just spend a couple minutes describing the plan. We've gone through many iterations of the plan. We think we've developed a plan that is responsive to what we think you all are looking for, as well as comments that we've heard from the town residents, especially the people that live very close adjoining to the property. So we're excited to present it to you, and we'll spend a couple minutes just describing the plan briefly, and then we'll take questions.
Thank you.
So the homes that we're proposing for this property are the same homes we were proposing in the previous proposals, albeit different in numbers. So 15 age-restricted attached homes and 65 age-restricted detached homes. The pricing is unchanged. The pricing of the single-family homes is proposed to be from the mid-400s to the mid-500s. The majority of the homes are anticipated to be one-level homes. There may be some two-story homes, but they will all have first-floor master bedrooms, and be designed for seniors. The attached homes, of which there's 15, are anticipated to be priced from the mid 300s into the 400s. They would be smaller, but they would also be designed for seniors with first floor master bedrooms. We would, under this proposal, build a clubhouse within the community for the exclusive use of the residents. That would have a pool. It would likely be something in the 4,000 square foot range. And all of that would be built on the 42 acres that Toll Brothers would purchase. It would be surrounded by the conservation land, which would be retained by the town, but would be restricted from future development. And then the town would also retain some unencumbered land that the town could do with as they see fit. So 155 total acres of property. Toll would purchase 42 acres, and the town would retain 113, 42 of which would be under a conservation easement. So the pool, the clubhouse would all remain with the town to continue to be used as you see fit. Similar to our last proposal, the access would be off of Ansonia Road. There would be no access off of Johnson Road except for a gated emergency access. The fire marshal would likely have the only key to that gate. And no construction access would come off of there either. So full access for our development would be off of Ansonia Road. Any questions?
Thank you. I think your numbers, Greg may have misspoke on the numbers, that it's 150 acres, so the town would retain about 70 acres of land, including the pool and the
Correct.
clubhouse, that entire area. Also, with respect to the attached housing, one of the things that people have talked about is the importance of having housing opportunities for seniors at the median price in Woodbridge, and that's the pricing that's on the attached houses. As you mentioned, it's $5 million is the purchase price that you've talked about, and Tony has done a rough calculation of net revenues to the town once the complex is complete.
Which certainly, it's a conservative figure based on some of the information you presented. The gross is somewhere a little less than $1 million, whereas the net would be anywhere between $600,000-$700,000, depending on what obligations would exist
Per year.
per year, once fully built.
Yes. Also, you mentioned the conservation easement, and I think, as I understand what you've presented and what the map shows, is that there's a certain amount of land surrounding your proposed development where Toll would be looking for the condominium association to have assurance that a certain amount of land would not be developed and would have some restricted use, but would be open to recreational use?
The intention would be that the conservation area shown on the map in the lime green would be not only benefiting the homeowners within the community, but the existing neighbors right now. So they would know that there would be no development on the perimeter of the property. And the passive recreation language in the conservation easement would likely allow things such as dog walking, cross-country skiing, things that don't involve motorized vehicles. And if the town wanted to conserve more of the land, we're certainly open to that. You could choose to do so.
And also on the map that you provided, it shows, I believe it shows the cart paths are the white dotted lines, and the yellow lines are the areas where you would propose at Toll's expense to connect them. And would those be suitable for walking and biking, or just walking?
Both.
Okay.
And yes, that would be at Toll's expense to install the orange connecting paths.
Other questions?
Can I just quickly clarify Alan's numbers and Greg's? I actually think.
Yeah, I might have misspoke. I think.
Well, actually, though, if you go to C, I think there's a little bit of disconnect here. So bottom line is you're looking for 42 acres to build on, 42 acres surrounding it to keep as a conservation area where no one else can build on. And then the remaining 70 acres for us to do what we want with, or 71 acres. Does that sound right?
That's right. The
That's right.
toll would only be
Yeah.
acquiring 42
42
acres.
that you
Yeah,
would
no, that's
build on.
correct.
Right.
And then the four, happens to be the same number, 42 that's surrounding it
Right.
would be in a conservation easement, so no one can build on, even though we would still own it. So we would still own 112 acres, but 71 of which is unencumbered that we can do what we want, including development, if we want to put a new clubhouse, and 42 of which we can't start.
That's correct. The fact that the
Just have to be the same.
amount we would
Right.
purchase and the amount that would be under the conservation easement are both 42 acres is a confusing coincidence.
Enough. Okay, great, thank you. Sorry, Ellen, I just-
I had a question.
So, but you're only paying for 42 acres, is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah, they're only buying
They're only buying 42, but there's 42 additional that you're conserving, right?
But
That's
the town-
one.
42 that the town is concerned.
Oh, the town is
We
concerned.
guarantee it, so that we can't do it.
All right, so that's not my, I don't know, I'm missing your, I have a different definition of a conservation development, so, I'm sorry.
No, they're buying 42 acres.
Right,
42 surrounding the town will own,
I know,
but no one can develop.
I know.
What I believe, as I understand it, you're asking that the town commit to a conservation easement on that coincidentally 42 acres, that
Around
we
here.
commit to a conservation easement to that. We may want a conservation easement on the entire remainder of the property. We may, but that's not, you don't, that's not your business. That's totally our business, but you're asking on those
And there's a good
acres.
reason for that, which is we're all about full disclosure, transparency when we sign agreements to purchase. And we need to tell, part of it is what are we going to tell, what story are we telling about what's going to be developed around where these people are living. So we want to be able to tell the buyer with some certainty that within this 42 acre area, nothing will be developed.
Right, but it still would be available, it'd be town-owned land for town uses, but not development, separate from the areas where the pool is, et cetera.
So, can I just follow up on that? So, your $5 million for the 42 acres includes the construction of a pool dedicated to the development, correct, for the buyer's use, leaving the town pool for our use, whether we choose to have it or not, correct?
That's absolutely correct. And
Okay.
it's not only would we build a pool in the middle of our development, but a clubhouse for those 80 residents.
For that homeowner's.
For those 8
Okay,
homeowners,
okay,
absolutely. And
So-
then the town clubhouse and pool, that's up to you
Whatever
folks
we
to
decide.
decide
Thank you.
what you want to do with it.
Thank you.
So the pool, the roads, that's all done by HOA. You're on your property, that's
That's
HOA
correct.
run.
Totally HOA, no town involvement, no town money, nothing.
For the uninitiated, HOA is homeowners association, I
Homeowners
presume?
Association, correct.
Well, there are, there's fire and police, obviously,
Right.
but maintenance is what you're saying.
Yeah, as far as the cost of the roads, the cost of maintaining their pool, their clubhouse, that's not our
Correct.
pool and clubhouse. HOA will maintain that.
Correct.
Thank you.
And I think that's part of Tony's net
Right,
revenue
correct.
calculation
Right.
or net
Right.
income calculation to the town.
right.
Any other questions?
Just one more clarification, and you, because it's not part of the property you're buying, you want nothing to do with our clubhouse, we would still have to decide whether we want to maintain it. You're not tearing it down. Your last proposals seem to include whether we would tear it down, there would be a cost that you would take off your price if we wanted to do that. You're no longer involved in any of the shit, you have no involvement whatsoever.
That's absolutely correct. We thought about it and they said, look, we'll pay you the money, we'll pay you the most money we can, and you folks decide what you want to do with the existing clubhouse.
And I do want to say, financially for the town, certainly this proposal is a significant improvement from your earlier proposals, and we, so I'll speak for myself, appreciate your willingness to listen to the town. As you've said, you've been at the meetings, and we have interesting proposals before us. So, anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is a letter from Billy Casper Golf. This was sent to us, there's a lot of discussion about whether we would continue golf another year, whether Billy Casper Golf would do it at no cost to the town. I believe the chair of the Golf Commission had told us that. I know we've had some discussions about it, and some members of this board felt that we should not continue to pay for this. This is the proposal from Billy Casper Golf, and it is to continue the contract that we have in place, the terms that we have now, for a $100,000 payment from the town. So the contract would run for calendar 2017, and as I said, it's $100,000. I do want to mention that in the agreement that this would amend, the town is obligated to do repairs in any 1 year up to $50,000. If repairs or costs exceed $50,000, we can cancel the contract. But in a sense, we'd be on the hook for $150,000. Another important provision, however, is that if we sold all or a portion of the property, we would be able to terminate the contract. I don't know if it's with a certain amount of notice, Jerry, but
No, it's 90
mid-contract.
days. 90 days.
90 days.
Yeah.
A pure-out clause, not a buyout clause.
An out.
Yeah, no cost. So I think that's important for the board to consider.
All or a portion?
All or a portion.
All or a portion.
Yeah. So that's the proposal that we have from Billy Casper Golf.
What are we paying them now? It was 165 or
I think 185.
85, and they sort of gave us back some money. I
About
don't know.
50,000.
50,000.
All right.
If it makes a certain 825.
Yeah, that's by formula, and there's no change proposed to that
Correct,
formula, so
right.
that could happen or not, depending on how golf operations
So we
go.
can reduce the 100 or possibly the 150 that we're on the hook for
If,
by,
It's a good year.
if it's a
they
good
have
year,
a
similar
good
to
year.
last year, we reduced it back down to 100.
right,
97.
right. Has a lot to do with weather, I think.
Yeah.
So,
And we currently, just so everyone is clear, we currently don't have anything budgeted in the country club fund account for any activity in 2017.
right, so this would require, well, it'd be a half year.
Half a year. So it depends on how you fund it. Depends how you work out how that money is paid and which year it's paid. You could. I'm sure they'd be reasonable with
So
that.
I did want to clarify that. So this contract for Casper, because now they're on the calendar year, and we're still
Right.
talking fiscal years,
Yeah.
this would be a calendar year, getting them to December of 2016, or the end of December.
17.
I'm sorry, 2017. But for our fiscal year, we've only budgeted up to December of this year, so
Correct.
we'd have to budget them for
6 months.
6 months at a time.
But how that cash flow works for them could be discussed. They
Right,
may not
and
need it.
Sure.
Right away.
and it's not really half of the golf season.
Right,
Right.
it's half of
Right.
our year, but.
Right.
No, it's good.
Maria, did you want to?
Nothing, that's fine.
Okay, anything else on that? This is the only potential action item. I don't know if the board would like to discuss this, if you'd like to go into executive session on any of these items, or simply vote on the golf proposal. Any comments about it? Do you-
All I know is that these proposals that we have, which we're very lucky to have, may take a little time to be worked out. So meanwhile, we have to keep the golf going so that we can get some income from it or whatever, get use of it.
Well, there's no guarantee.
Right, it wouldn't be
there.
income, it would be a net. I don't think it would
Oh, no,
cost
not
us,
income, but
yeah.
at least it will be, keeping the golf going. Because I think a lot of people want that.
Could I just ask a timing question?
Sure.
So this last, let's call it negotiating contract, or this last offer, is there a time limit to it? Are they looking for an answer
Well,
within a certain period of time?
They had asked for us to take it up at this meeting. I honestly think that if we want another month, I haven't asked them, but
I think they're hopeful that they would have an answer by the end of July, although I'm not sure it's a absolute thing.
Are we having an August meeting?
that's a very good question. I guess the question was whether we'll have an August meeting. Of course, Generally, people prefer to skip an August meeting, but I think in this case, we probably will. I will say that I do need to change the date of the scheduled August meeting for family reasons, but I can do it on the fourth Wednesday, or we can talk about some other date.
So we'll have a special meeting in August. My preference would be, since we just saw August, to put it off till then.
Did I understand we were having a special meeting in July?
Well, on
Or
July
the second
27th,
meeting?
July 27th will be a public informational forum. I don't know if we'll schedule it as a special meeting. I don't think we need to do that, but it will certainly be a public informational forum with the Board of Selectmen, participating.
Presiding over, or at least...
Yeah, perhaps.
The only reason I asked that is it possible, I do think this is an actionable item, at least within a very short period of time, let's call it a month.
Are you talking
Is
with
it
Billy
possible we could do...
Which is
Take
actionable.
this
Yes,
up,
we certainly
Billy
could.
Casper,
We certainly
on the
could.
27th, just to give us a week or two to...
Yes,
And in the meantime, we won't make them delay too long to know.
yes, that's correct.
The one thing he explained was that as the year goes by, they lose possible rebookings of
Right.
outings
I understand.
for next year.
That's what I was concerned
Because
about.
they're not sure if they're going to be here.
Right, so what I'm
that's their
saying
big
is for
concern.
2 weeks, rather than make them wait another month, even though we
Very
might have
good.
an August meeting,
Absolutely.
maybe there's compromise too,
So-
in the July meeting, if we just plan that short.
And still by the end of the July, the month of July, which
let's-
is what they wanted.
We will definitely have a special meeting, definitely, all things being equal, on the 27th.
Okay.
Whatever we do that evening, part of it will be a special meeting. We can take this up if we're ready.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
think that sounds good.
On that.
Okay, do you want to say anything else about, I don't know if you all want to consider any of this in executive session, so that we can talk about negotiations and strategy, or I can continue on my own without benefit of your thoughts on it. I'm good either
I'm going to
way.
reiterate, I think there's some value in going to an executive session so we can decide what it is, or at least discuss what it is that we think has value in terms of how we use our time on the 27th.
And also, I don't know what will happen between now and then with respect to the Billy Casper Golf contract, but, again,
That's my
Joe, did
feeling.
you want to say something?
No, I said if someone makes a motion, I don't have a particular problem now that we've heard everything
Yeah.
going into executive session.
Well, I'll
Especially with
entertain a
this one.
motion if someone would like
So
to make
moved.
it.
Second.
Any
What was the
questions?
motion, was to talk of all 4, or just Billy Casper?
All 4.
Any questions or discussion about that?
And under the statutes as stated, I suppose, to clear up the record here.
So if we do that, I believe I said it before, but I'll say it again. If we go into executive session, I've determined that the public interest in this discussion of the proposals outweighs the public interest in continuing our discussion publicly this evening, and that public discussion of strategy and negotiations could have an adverse impact on our negotiations and ultimate financial position. And I say that because it's a requirement of the Freedom of Information Act before we go into executive session. So we have a motion and a second. Are there any other discussion or questions? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay.
Who are you
Oh,
inviting?
and I would like to invite town council and our finance director. Out of executive session, no votes were taken during executive session. We had a lively discussion of the various proposals that were mentioned before executive session. And we will be having a public informational meeting 2 weeks from tonight on July 27th, and invite Toll Brothers and Redan to present at that time. And that will be the opportunity for the public to ask questions and clarify any elements of the proposals they would like to do. We will continue negotiations with Billy Casper Golf on their draft proposal, and hopefully act on that by July 27th. Okay, with that, Betsy Yagla, we're at number 13, which is Assistant Administrative Officer's Report. Betsy Yagla wasn't feeling well, so we will be skipping that. Jerry, I don't know if you have a report. Number 15, Chris Jaffe has resigned from the Woodbridge Board of Education. She and her husband and their children have moved to Montana. I get all those states mixed up. I believe it was Montana. And it's a life adventure out there. So we accept with regret, of course, and appreciation Chris's service to the town. She was a wonderful member of the Beecher Board of Education. We now have the vacancy on the Woodbridge Board of Education. Beth, do you have a
I
nominee
do,
for that?
thanks. I'd like to nominate Nancy Yao
Let's just see,
Mosbach.
do we have the resumes to distribute?
Did you get it?
You have them?
We
Oh, okay, good.
I was going to read a lot of it, but it's getting late, so she has a very impressive resume. Graduated from Occidental College in LA, diplomacy in world affairs, a minor in Chinese language. She has an MBA in corporate finance from the Yale School of Management. She's served as director of new programs and director of Asia coverage and Center for Financial Research. She was executive director of the Yale China Association in New Haven and currently serves as president of the Museum of Chinese in America in New York. She is a board member of the International Festival of Arts and Ideas, a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. She's a mother of 2 children, both at Beecher Road School. Her son William is 8 and Evangeline is 7. And I think she will be a very strong and wonderful addition to the board. I spoke with her and she's really looking forward to this appointment.
Thank you. Would you like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Nancy Yao Mosbach. I did say in the beginning.
Oh,
I'd
you
like
made
to
the motion.
nominate. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
unless that counts, I don't know.
Any questions or discussion? No?
Only that I don't believe you need our vote anyways. This is an elected official, and
I
it
think we
was
still have to
elected by
vote.
party, so even though we will, I'm just stating I believe you have to review nominating.
I don't know if that's correct, but thank you.
Well, I think it is. It's an elected
Good.
spot. I think your party.
Oh, because I think you're right.
Executive
I
spot.
think you are right,
It's an
Tony.
elected spot
So
in
I
your
think
party.
your party can replace.
Yes, you're right,
But
because it's
we'd be
elected.
happy
No, but it has to be a Board of Selectmen vote, but it has to be a Democrat.
Yes, yes,
It's got to be a Board of
exactly.
Selectmen
Great.
vote.
There you go. Fine.
Okay, that
Okay.
said, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, congratulations, Nancy, if you're watching.
Wherever you are.
Okay,
I told
we
her she didn't
have,
have to go.
I just want to say one thing. I've heard this woman speak. She is enormously
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah, it's good. I loved
She is
loved her
indeed.
on the
It's gonna be a
phone.
great asset.
Yeah.
okay, we have minutes. Mrs. Shaw has been very busy. First are the minutes of the February 10th regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion?
A couple of minor typos, but which I'll
Typos,
shoot off, but they're all good.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Next, we have the Board of Selectmen regular meeting of February 16th, 2016, where we discussed budget recommendations for fiscal year 2017. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, questions? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
We have the June 14th Neighborhood Assistance Act public hearing. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
That's it, Jerry, right? I covered all of them.
For now.
Okay.
Wait till next week. Oh, was it a big black one? It went in my purse. I didn't know.
Item 18, first Selectmen's report. First, I would like to highlight again the sound fiscal stewardship of Woodbridge. We've been recognized for that in multiple ways over the last month. We received, once again, the GFOA Award for Excellence in Financial Reporting. It is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting. As Tony mentioned, we also, again, have a AAA bond rating, and also, as Tony reported, we were able to borrow at historically low rates. And Tony, thank you again for the excellent job you do for us. It's a credit to Tony, our finance department, our Board of Finance, and our Board of Selectmen for excellence in finance operations. Thank you, Tony.
Good job.
With respect to our schools, I attended the 8th grade promotion at Bethany Middle School, the Amity High School graduation, and the Beecher Road School graduation. As the new superintendent, Bob Gilbert, mentioned, I met with him and Dr. Stella. I've been very impressed in my meetings with Mr. Gilbert and I am confident that he will continue the strong working relationship between Beecher Road School and the town of Woodbridge, which we have enjoyed under Dr. Stella and has made a tremendous difference in the operations over at the school. In police department news, I attended the swearing-in ceremony for 3 officers promoted to sergeant. I want to congratulate again Michael Bloom, R.J. Scott, and Rich Rizzuti. It was a very moving ceremony. Their families were there, beaming with pride. And also welcome our new officer, Michael Luzzi, who is transferred to Woodbridge from Orange. We've had events for departing staff. I attended the dinner for Lee Canning, who is leaving as our senior center director after 35 years with the town. I attended the farewell picnic for William Rosario, our outstanding custodian, who is leaving after 20 years with the town. As we have already noted, Dr. Stella is retiring after 10 years as Beecher Road School Superintendent, and in addition to the events of the month before, there was a picnic on the green organized by the Board of Education, well attended by families and children. I was unable to attend the luncheon for Kathy Mackey, but I do want to thank Kathy too for her service. She retired as senior clerk after 22 years in the town of Woodbridge. I think she began when she was a child. On the economic development side, I am continuing my visits to local businesses to help promote them, and Betsy and I went to Crest Motors, which is one of our largest businesses in the town of Woodbridge. It's known for its family atmosphere, which I certainly appreciated when I was there, and also known for excellent customer service. Tony and I think Betsy was there, I'm not sure, maybe she was out. We met with the DOT team working on the long-term plan for traffic relief and increased safety around Exit 59 and the Merritt Parkway. And I want to explain again that there are 3 simultaneous projects happening in that area. One is the interim project that we've talked about that will be changing the lighting and hopefully providing some relief to the congestion. This is the bigger project that we were able to take a piece of to do the expedited change. It was an interesting meeting. It was an excellent team. They've worked very hard on this. They brought different options to it, but made very clear their view is there's no silver bullet for that intersection, that they will be able to improve traffic and improve safety, but not to expect a miracle. And we will be scheduling follow-up meetings for them. Concerts on the green, there have been 2 so far. Kudos to the Recreation Department for doing an excellent job again. Last week was the Billy Joel Tribute Band and also Taste of Woodbridge, and thanks to Tony Belinsky, she helped organize that this year. And yesterday was the Joe Newman Band. Both were very well attended. Families were out there. The weather cooperated, and they were lovely events. I also attended the Rotary installation dinner for Chris Lovejoy, who is this year's president. Congratulations to Chris on that. And I had a very interesting meeting with Paul DeCosta, who's working an idea for a notable tree project here in Woodbridge. There's a statewide project, and he's working to bring it here to Woodbridge. So it's a busy month and lots of good things happening in the town of Woodbridge. On liaison reports, Amity Board of Education does not meet in July. I did want to mention that there is a dispute about the bid process for landscaping services. The low bidder was not chosen and has filed a complaint. The superintendent and the Board of Ed feel very confident that they followed the rules as they should have, but I thought I should mention it to you. And on Government Access TV, congratulations, Pua, for her excellent work. Once again, our Government Access TV has received a grant of almost $11,000 for equipment. So very nice work on that.
Amazing.
Let's see, I mentioned Tony and I think that's it. So liaison reports. Tony, do you want to start?
Sure. Let's start with town planning and zoning. I had to miss the special meeting held on the 27th. However, I did review it. There were 2 public hearings on the 27th. The special meeting, one was for the Woodbridge Village Associates down on Bradley Road, Litchfield Turnpike property, and the other public hearing was a continuation of the JCC request for application to change the usage of their pool, their camp pool. The JCC hearing was completed that night, very, very late in the night. I believe it was after 12:30 at night. But they have not had the work session yet, TP&Z. They decided to put that onto the next meeting, which will be a special meeting on July 18th. The continuation of the hearing for the Woodbridge Village Associates will happen also on the 18th. They'll be the only public hearing that night. Then there'll be 2 work sessions, which hopefully they'll be able to make a decision on both applications, both the JCC application and the Woodbridge Village. So stay tuned. That's on the 18th. That'll be at the cafeteria, special place, by the way, at 7:30, Senior Cafe. Okay, Library Commission. Obviously, you heard much about the damage. I was at the Library Commission, which met Monday night. They are not scheduled to have their next meeting until September. There may be something that happens due to what's happening there with the damage and when they will reopen. You heard about the damage. Other issues that were discussed. The budget is basically closed for the end. There's a few costs that are yet to fix into place, but it looks like there'll be some surplus for the budget for the year, so that's always good news. Eric Worthman also informed the commission that the ongoing issues being caused with the state book delivery system are continuing and may be worsening for at least locally what we're having a situation with, that getting the books, getting them delivered. He is hopeful there will be some alterations to the program to make it a little more efficient, but right now they are having some issues with that state delivery system. And that's really it.
Thank you, Tony. Maria?
Okay, I was able to attend all the commissions that I liaison to. First one is Recreation Commission, which met on June 27. I have to say we should appreciate how the Recreation Commission works hard for the town. In the last meeting, they increased field fees starting September 1st from the $25 per field per day to $50 for 2 hours, $100 up to 4 hours, and $200 for all day. They voted this best because it best covers the cost of $50 to repair a field, and the commission is just following what Orange renting rates are for fields. The Country Club pool has outstanding numbers to report: 154 members with a $97,000 in income. Guest fees collected thus far is $1,300. 105 memberships are new, 49 returning members, 114 members are residents, 40 non-residents. That's pretty good. Of course, increased membership means more expenses in supplies, but they think they are on budget and making some money at that. They guard the commission supplies and tools very well. They have Billy Casper pay up front when they use them, with some increases in rates as well. There is ongoing concern to beautify around the pools. Muffy German and I have volunteered to improve plantings between the kiddie pool and the adult pool. Anthony Taddy got rid of the undesirable shrubs against the building walls near the pool, and we suggested to just mulch the beds, no plantings, to protect the painted walls from mildew. Instead of plantings in the beds, just to increase the potted flowering plants around the area. I think this will improve the landscape and should be nice. Summer concerts have begun, as we reported. They started July 5th. If you attended the Taste of Woodbridge and a Billy Joel concert, you can report on it because I was out of town. And also, I did not make the other night, but there is one on the 19th. It's Angelo Ruggiero, which will feature Rec-A-Rama, a demonstration of rec programs. And the last is July 26th, the Vibrations. Please mark your calendars. The meeting of the Woodbridge Board of Ed on June 30th, 2016. That meeting began with the Connecticut Association of Public School Superintendent Student Awards. Sixth graders received this special award. The award's not only for academic excellence, it is also for how students combine academic excellence and how well the students promote students' citizenship with peers and teachers. Each awardee had amazing extracurricular interests that complemented their academic work. Of note, the awardees were all ladies. For sure, wannabe women leaders, very inspiring. This was the last meeting. This meeting was the last meeting that was ran by now retired Dr. Stella. The Board of Ed bestowed on him yet one more honor for gratitude, and that is the Board of Ed named the library media room after Guy Stella. He was taken by surprise. The rest of the meeting continued with a recent example of the weekly news about the students by the students. Incredible that the school has its own news team. Be interesting to watch the school element grow even more under the new superintendent. Then there was the monthly budget analysis with predictions of a deficit, which you explained earlier, because of the cost of special ed. It was good to see how they worked to decrease the deficit with extra funds coming out of other line items. This was followed by an amazing report on the forum called Beyond the Walls of School, Empowering Continuous Personal Learning. The district held 2 open forums to gather info about the community's thoughts on the use of technology in the district, as well as to obtain feedback on possible directions on how to go ahead in the coming years. There is a draft report available if you are interested in the details. Suffice it to say, it is wonderful that our district can make such a forum happen. Then they presented the parent survey spring of 2000 survey, where the district obtained a good handle on parent understanding, thoughts and ideas about the education of their children. If you are interested, I believe you can obtain copies from the district office. Overall, the parent survey says that the parents are happy about education in Beecher Road School and are eager to participate in activities that continue to enhance this high level of education. More importantly, you can see clearly that our tax dollars are well spent for education. Then there was a superintendent report on the cafeteria tax force. Incredible effort to educate the district kids about food and nutrition. The cafeteria deals with recipe development, nutrition education, skill building for staff, and best interaction with students on food. They invite local chefs who demonstrate how fun food can be. They sample food. What's new for 2016 are salad shakers and bento boxes. Imagine that, and all related to wellness. The cafeteria management is working more and more with another town organization, which I am very much involved with, the Massaro Community Farm. The cafeteria tries to obtain as much produce as they can from local organic farm, in spite of the fact that Massaro only works in the summer. They've invited Farmer Steve to talk to students. And a bit of related news, state legislature passed a bill sponsored by the Environmental Committee that says that in order to be a veritable food supplier for schools in Connecticut, you will need to supply the schools with as much organically grown products as possible. I think Massaro Community Farm is on the list to be a player in this program. On Monday night, I attended a finance meeting of the Board of Ed to wrap up the school year finances. This is about the requesting for the BOS to transfer of funds to cover their school year's deficit. I appreciate how this amount was made smaller by the Board of Ed, workings with funds from within their system. They talked a bit about what's going to happen for next year. It was Mr. Robert Gilbert. It was my first meeting with Robert Gilbert, and already I could tell that he will be a responsible superintendent, especially with regards to their budget. He was holding off on a new hire till he saw how it would affect town budget. Bravo! I like him already. That's my report.
Thank you. Joe?
I was unable to attend the Country Club Commission meeting, and the Conservation Commission meeting was canceled.
Thank you, Joe.
Bravo!
They did not, Human Services didn't meet in July, so no report. And Inland Wetlands, real quick, 28 Foxden Way, they renewed an existing permit for dredging of the pond. 20 to 24 Crestview Drive, this is Mr. Gearing, I believe. They got a permit to dredge the stream channel in the delta in that lake and hopefully eliminate some of the problems up there. Erosion control details are going to be worked out between Mr. Gilbert and the contractor, so they went ahead with that. And on 220 Amity Road, there's a house that hadn't had any work for quite a long time. I probably know, we go by it all the time. And the agency did give certain recommendations to move forward and get this house finished because it's completely not constructed inside. So that went forward, and their next meeting is next Wednesday, the 20th. You heard about the budget with Fire Commission that was discussed extensively at their meeting on the 20th. And the need for the ladder truck came up again. The chief commented about how everything works so well with the police department over the recent bad accidents that we all heard about. EMT certification classes will be held the second week in July. I can't talk, it's so late, and I guess they already happened. And they're still working on dispatch issues with the police department. Very happy about the new chief, and things are going well. They're going to order new air packs this month, and fire marshal conducted 100 inspections in the past month, and I have the statistics just from the month of May and where they were. So that's it. I'm done.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything I would say has been covered in other presentations. So, I'm all set.
Thank you for that. And I do want to mention to everyone, if the liaison report includes something that's already been reported on, I think everybody would appreciate just referring to it.
It's okay
We
if
can
we
all
just
try to
sit
do
through
that.
it. Exactly.
Would there be a motion to adjourn?
There would be, so moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you,
Aye.
everyone.